the intergenerational relationship between the two characters and the romance between them?
In fact, I wanted, for me, the older guy, so Daniel, for me, it's a kind of enigma. What is he searching in the station? It's like a desire, but not very clear. So I think for the difference of age, there are three, in fact. You have the young guy, you have boss, and they have different ages. And for me, it's quite the same person. I think at the moment of the film, Daniel realized that he's trying to connect to his own youth, you know, and it's like something important. That's why he's so happy, and at the same time, it's written by all those people in his place, because it's like a party for him at the same time. Even if he's afraid, you know, that's something that he didn't live life for many, many years, I think. And so it's, and in the middle of the young and the old guy, you have this boss. And for me, boss is like, I told the actor he was like Peter Pan. He's lost children around him. And in fact, he was like trying to escape time. That's why he goes through borders. That's why he doesn't want to stop somewhere. And for him, that's why he's so cynical with Daniel, because he's the kind of man he doesn't want to become, an older man. And for me, that's the difference between the character. And about the romance, I think Daniel at the beginning is very sexual thing. You know, it's like really prostitute with a client, and I think he fell in love, but this love is not very clear in his mind, and it becomes more like a paternity thing. And that is related to a true story I knew. So that someone adopted his former boyfriend who was younger than him, and I was interested in that because I do films to understand what is weird and things that I don't understand easily, you know. And I imagined that, is it possible to tell this story, which is a little bit disturbing? Is it possible that it could be natural, that it could be believable, you know? So I don't know if it's a good answer.
Definitely was.
It worked. Yeah.
Anyone else with a question? Yes, the gentleman in the back there.
I love the film. Thank you very much. And has it been sold? Is it possible that we might be able to rent it here so I can show other people?
Has the film been sold? Will there be a possibility to rent it here?
You have another screening in 2 days,
Yes,
I
okay.
think. And that will be, no, I don't know if it's I just look at the producer who's falling asleep. That's the jet lag, I suppose. No, we don't know yet, really. And but I think it will be sold, I suppose, in the United States, and there will be, I'm sure, a video, so a DVD sometimes, but I don't know when.
Anyone else with a question? Yes, down in front.
Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful film. And for us, it was interesting because we're actually Russian and we can understand even things that weren't subtitled. But for me, I was wondering, is that a conscious decision to not subtitle as much in the beginning versus the end where it was nearly everything was subtitled? Does that reflect the understanding from the main character, or can you talk a little bit about that?
Can you talk a little bit about, just so everyone can hear, how some parts weren't subtitled and some parts were?
Yes, it's a little bit a trick, of course. I wanted the idea that strangers are very strange. So when you don't understand people around you, like in the party, it's very threatening. And I wanted the spectator to be in the situation of Daniel, not understanding what's going on. And at the end, when you go to the territory of the gang in the hotel, I wanted to be in their everyday life. And at this moment, I wanted people to take their point of view. that's a little bit like a trick or something of. But I love the idea that when you understand what people are saying, it's for you it's different, but most of the audience realize that they become more human. They are threatening in the party, and they become more human, and you see what their problem. But you must be, because I know that both were saying things where what he was saying was not clear, I think, sometimes. So he was in a strange state at the moment of the film when we were in the hotel, and he was very, very free about the text. You know, he was doing his own character, and that was. He's a little bit crazy. He's a very good actor, but yes.
Perfectly. In the translation, I'm like, well, it's not.
Yeah, the translation simplify a lot. Yeah, no. But he's a good actor. He's very intense, but he's difficult. Because he's a little bit crazy as a character. That's why I chose him. But that was a lot of work.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes, in the back.
Hi there. It was a very powerful movie. Thank you very much. I not remember feeling this uncomfortable viewing a movie or after a movie as I feel right now. And I think that comes from my initial resentment and judgment of the relationship between an adult male and a child prostitute. And then over the movie, he becomes glorified into a hero at the end who comes and saves the boy. So there's a discord between my disapproval of what happened and the way the movie made me feel about that relationship. Can you speak a little bit about the feeling that audiences have about my reaction and how you feel about the relationship the characters had now that you've thought about it for months or a long time?
Can you speak about the feeling of discomfort that the audience might feel, and how you feel about the relationship now that you've been with the film for so many months?
First of all, for me, it doesn't become really a hero. I think he's a little bit too much a coward for, it's like he does one thing. He does two things at the end, really. He does one thing, he calls the police, For me, it's not, he knows that it will be a problem for the other. So for me, it's not brave at all. It's like, because I don't feel like it's bravery. The other thing, of course, it takes boss, and because boss is eating the young guy, Ruslan. For me, it's like a very bitter ending. For me, at the end, I'm more interested like in Boss, the sadness of Boss. For me, Boss is a very melancholical character, And so when everything, there's a new order at the end of the film, Everything's fine, and they go back to the street, and it's like a Playmobil city, outside, and it's, how can I put that? It's like peace is coming back, but it comes back with a price, and the price is all the other illegal migrants have been, taken by the police. And for me, it's not like it's a strange happy ending, not so well, because it's like for me, the character of Daniel, you cannot, when the lawyers say, of course, there's no sexual relationship between these two, but for the spectator, you know that there was a sexual relationship. So it's really embarrassing. But for me, there's a kind of love story in the film, but how can I say, the nature of this love is not very clear. And it becomes more clear at the end because they decide that they are in another phase. But it's not because they are in another phase that what happened before disappear. It's like feeling quite of incest or something like this. So it's not exactly like I feel like Daniel is a hero, and I don't feel like Boss is a bad guy. It's like people in this film are all illegal, so I don't have a moral point of view. I have ethical questions about them, but I don't have. I'm not judgmental. It's very difficult for me to. I don't see you at all. You wanted to say something else?